Good evening, one and all. Happy Thursday. It is February 3rd. February 3rd. Oh my God. And you're here with me and Ben on Guitar Town Hall with David NESDALL. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing groovy, Dave. Just hanging in there. Just riding out winter as much as we can. Trying not to lust over too much gear, but losing battle always. For every one item, Dave, I go, you know what? I don't really need that. Then there's two more that come along that take its place. So it's always a list. It's always growing. And wow, we already got chat's already just scrolling on through. Everyone's coming on in here. So we should get to roll call as far as I'm concerned, because they're nice enough to say hello. So we're nice enough to say hello back.
Hey, you mind if I take it today?
You do it, Dave. Sure.
All right. Janice Lala, Danham, New Jersey, Dwight Bailey, Guitar Man 45. Hang on a second. The other left. Charles 75N, Papa Blue, David Scher, Cushman, New York City, Octopus Ears, which is really Magic Man, Thomas Santiago, Terry 3Gs, T. Ricky. What else? Who else?
Down at the bottom, we got Christopher popping in here. Awesome.
Yeah. Tim Thomas.
He's always in early. He's a pre-gamer. He likes good parking down front so he can get a seat down front. Like, I get it. I get Keith Campbell. What's up, buddy?
Keith Campbell. Hello.
Nice.
Christopher Live Soa. Nice. How's everybody doing this week?
Yeah. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to February. So anything that's on your minds tonight, don't hesitate to share. I forgot to read the title for tonight's episode. Well, no, I read it and then I forgot. So
it just said conversation on guitars and gear.
Oh, perfect. Nice and generic. That's my specialty, Dave.
I was gonna put New Guitar Day, but it isn't. It's a new guitar in the house, but it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to me for the time being, but it's not really mine.
Yeah, it's not so much New Guitar Day as New Gas situation.
Yeah. I've got a nice little thing here in the box.
That's NG.
And
I'll just go PD. P for part. Yeah. I was like, do I want to? Nah, that's too hard. Hey, House of Twang, Thomas Santiago,
NGP Day, New Guitar Part Day.
Exactly, parts for guitars. We like it.
Pretty awesome stuff. So so that's what's going on. How about Andy Aladort last week?
How about that? That was fun, and still haven't figured out his voice on the tip of my brain, Dave, but I love it. And, like you said, Americana music, which I was trying to put a word out because we don't use that word in Canada, because what does that mean? But Canadiana, it kind of sounds like, but it's the
Canadiana.
Yeah, I know North Americana. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
so roots music, right?
It's roots.
Yeah, it's modern folk. I like to use the term because people. You say folk, people think like Peter, Paul, and Mary. Well, not necessarily.
Right.
Mellencamp, folk.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like to plug in too. Ask Bob Dylan.
Right, and we will have Andy on in the near future to do the rest of his record.
The B-side.
We didn't even finish the A-side. We didn't even finish. That was only 4 songs we did.
Yeah.
So we'll have him on for a longer period of time next time. He had to leave because he had another interview that he had to do.
Hey, I'm just happy you squeezed us in, Dave.
You know what? Because he had that going before he agreed to come on to us. He was like, "Yeah, Dave, anything for you. I just can't stay on very long," which is cool. It's cool.
All we can ask for.
I'm sorry for the shortened show last week, but we'll make up for it this week. We'll go the full hour and a half, maybe a little more if there's more talking in the chat. We'll see, but we'll at least do an hour and a half tonight.
Yeah, I'm prepared.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I'm prepared. He says, 2 minutes after going, so what's the topic for tonight? Yeah, I'm prepared. I'm here.
It's okay. You know what? That's my fault because normally on a weekday, I'll get a hold of Ben and say, hey, what are we doing for this week? Let's do this, and this. And Ben's like, okay, I got this and this too. And, ever since my dog Brandy passed away last week, I have really not done much. I haven't done much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I absolutely did do, and I did it today, was I took the Christmas tree down finally.
Hey!
It's gone. And in its place is another tree of sorts. It has strings on it, no balls, no Christmas balls or anything, no garland or tinsel.
Ernie balls, perhaps?
Huh?
Ernie balls, perhaps, though?
No, they're actually no, they're GHS and they're 11s, 11 to 52, I believe.
That's like all the gauges.
And this gauge, listen, I like 10s and I like 11s on my Gibsons, but this 11 to 52 set, the 10, the B string is a 15 and the G string is a 20, and then it's 32, 42, 52, which is fantastic. It's fantastic. Really feels great. So I have an E string as an A string on here. And
I think like I'd have that tuned as a baritone with that string gauge.
It's tuned. It's It's tuned to standard pitch. The neck is pin straight. I've got plenty of room to go on the truss rod. This guitar has been used to this gauge of strings since it's been bought. So
sure,
it's used to it. So the neck is like, all right, I could do this.
Yeah.
And it feels fantastic. It is slinky.
Yeah. I was just thinking if I came into my possession, I threw a set of 9s on it, it would probably just instantly go into back bow out of protest. First of all, it's like, whoa, no, I need tension. But, and also I did see Keith ask, and ironically enough, yes, he asked about Tom, our friend Tom, any update. All I can say is I've been texting Tom every few days for the last couple of weeks. And then out of the blue, about 15 minutes before we went live, Tom just texted, thanks, brother. So he's alive and able to text. So that's good. So
that's good.
Positive vibes and well wishes for Tom.
Yes, he's conscious. He's on the mend.
Yeah.
He may not be out of the hospital yet, but he's on the mend, and we're so happy about that. And Tom, if you're watching, Godspeed. Get well soon. We'll see you very soon. And as soon as you get home and are able to get on the computer, we'll get you on here. Yeah, that's if you'd like to come on here.
Mm-hmm. Octopus Ears asks, man, I got to remember that. Octopus Ears Magic Man. Yeah, all right. I'll try. Fender amps that I own. I have a Blues Deluxe back there. And then what's branded as a Greta, which the cab's there. The amp is on the workbench. That was part of Fender's Pawn Shop series, but it was branded as a Greta. It's a 112 cab with a Celestian in it. So it's a nice small cab. So that's not going anywhere. And it's red Tolex, which is...
Yeah, that's cool. I've never actually heard of a Pawn Shop series. Just never heard of it. Is that something that they did in Canada, or is that worldwide?
No, it was worldwide. I'm trying to think because I've owned the amp for, let's say, 3 years. Richie owned it for a year. He got it used. So it must have been, it was short-lived, like only a year or two. They had the Pawn Shop series guitars, which were kind of the precursor to some of the Parallel Universe stuff, and they're Relic, some of them, and Squire brand, I believe, guitars. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. I kind of missed out on it too, and I still haven't got around to it, is doing a demo with the amp because the amp head, it looks almost like a 40s clock radio, but it has a built-in speaker, which is why I have it on my workbench. But it has an external out for the cab, and there's no demos here on YouTube of someone using the amp and cab together. There's stuff of just the amp, but not of the two. And it sounds kind of cool. The only thing I don't like is it's only got a volume and a tone. That's not a big deal. Some form of branding, because it's just chrome knob. It'd be like putting just two tele knobs on it. Right. You don't even know which is which. Like, there's no brand identification. I was like, I don't know. So, yeah.
Right.
How do I like the Blue Deluxe? Amazing. Amazing amp. Great pedal platform. If you're looking to get any gain out of it, you're not. It has next to no, like, it's hard to break up unless you turn it really, really loud.
Well, it's a blues amp, and it's also like a great clean platform for your pedals.
Yeah, and that's why I use it for all my pedal demos, and I've used it for the last few bands because it's loud and it takes pedals amazingly. It's very transparent.
Just think of it as our generation's deluxe reverb.
Yeah,
it's like
in the next generation's Line 6 powered cab, where they're just running something into something to make it loud.
It's also 40 watts instead of 22 watts, so it's loud. Terry asks if Larry made it tonight. Larry Mitchell is gonna be on next Thursday. He's on the road this week, and I believe he's in San Diego right now. He flew from home today, and I think he's in San Diego. So yeah, he's there. He'll be back home on Tuesday, and he'll be on our show next Thursday.
Yeah, it'll work great for you, my friend.
Yeah.
Especially if you're into pedals at all. Like, that's the way I see it. Rather than having a room full of amps, Dave, isn't it better just to have like one or two to run stereo, and then say half a dozen amps in boxes to get your variety of tones that you want? Sure, it'd be nice to have a wall of amps that, have your Plexi, have your 5150, have your Fender, have your Mesa Boogie. No, that's a lot of coin too.
Yeah, that's why I like having a clean platform and just get whatever pedals I need to make whatever amps sound like whatever amp I want it to sound like.
Sure.
I've got pedals that sound like Marshalls. I've got pedals that sound like Boogies. I've got a pedal that sounds like a train wreck. I got two different pedals that sound like a Dumble. Nice. I'm pretty set, and I would probably bet money to people to tell me that it doesn't sound like the amp I'm going for.
Yeah,
probably. Now my ears are not what they used to be when I was 30. But I still think I have pretty good ears to tell the difference in amplifiers. Pretty good. So I'm pretty confident that the pedals that I have will sound like the amplifier I'm going for. That being said, now we're talking pedals now. I have to tell you guys, I have a new pedal coming.
Oh.
And I'm so excited about it. It's a micro vent.
What is that?
Have you ever heard of the mini vent or the ventilator? It's a Leslie.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
$400 pedal, and it is the best sounding Leslie I've ever heard in my life. Ooh. It is ridiculous, and it's the size of an MXR pedal. A $400 pedal, though. It's expensive. It's 9 volt, 200 milliamps. It's got, I believe it's got 4 knobs on it, and it's got a not only it has a tone knob on it, and it has a level on it, which you don't get them with levels. You don't get many of these types of pedals with levels on it. So it's great.
So it's blendable.
A lot of times when you get these Leslie pedals, when you turn them on, it kind of brings your volume down a little bit. But with this level, you can turn the level up and bring it back up to line level. It's great.
Sort of like when you use some choruses and it just boosts you because it's all your mids all of a sudden.
Yeah, and my God, does it sound amazing? If you guys get a chance to go to YouTube after the show, by the way, go to YouTube and type in mini vent and micro vent. Now, the difference between the two is two things: the size of the pedal. The mini vent is, I'd say, the size of um, like a
Like the larger MXRs?
like a KTR, yeah, like a Phase 100 size, and the micro vent is the size of a regular MXR pedal. The mini vent is also a stereo pedal, and this is a mono pedal. Hang on, Desiree's texting me. Hang on 1 second.
What's up, Tony? Well, there you go, Keith. Tell him we say hi. And we'll see him next week.
Awesome. We just texted Larry because there was a major tornado in Alabama where his mom lives. So we wanted to make sure she's okay. Mm-hmm. And they're under tornado watch now, but she's okay. So it's good.
Excellent. Octopus Ears played a Mesa Fillmore 50 today, was a bit underwhelmed. I'd like to like the Fillmore. I get it. I'd like to like one. It's like there's a lot of Marshalls I'd like to like, but I have a hard time dialing in a tone I like out of a lot of Marshalls. And then there's some that I'm like, oh, that was easy. And it's just the way they are.
Hey, Fruitcake Tony. You know, the thing about Marshalls, it's very weird with me. I'm not a fan of the 900 series. I'm not a fan of the DSL and TSL series. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of the Plexis, the JMPs, and the 800s. Anything after the 800 series, to me, sounded way too squishy. And don't believe me, I love high gain. I'm not saying that I don't like them because they're high gain, because what I'll do is I'll push my JCM, not that I have one, but I will push a JCM 800 or a Plexi with an overdrive pedal that's mid to high gain and get a high gain sound. I love it. But something about the DSLs, the TSLs, and the 900s sounded very weak to me. Now, that being said, the Joe Satriani version, the JVM, his JVM, sounds incredible. It's a great amp. But my heart belongs to Plexis, JMPs, JTMs, like a JTM 45.
Would you agree, Dave? Amps are probably... Like, if you're going to buy an amp, that's one of the most important factors, like something you got to play before buying. Because amps are so reactive to your hands, you know, as far as, like you said, like, I would love to be able to play through a Plexi. I can't get a decent tone out of a Plexi.
You can't, because you got to play them loud.
Yeah.
You can't get a, and you don't need to get a bedroom volume sound, but if you're going to do a gig in a bar or a club with a Plexi, you got to be able to get that amp up around 6 or 7 for it to do what it's supposed to do.
Right.
If you play at 6 or 7 with a 100-watt Plexi or even a 50-watt Plexi in a bar or a club, you're never playing there again.
Yeah.
Because you're going to shake the house.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough, friend of ours that has a home studio. He has, in his home studio, he's got drum kit set up. On one side is a full 1972 stack. I went 71, 72, period correct cabs and head. He's pieced it all together. The other side, 2 more early 70s Marshall cabs with a Bassman head that he picked up.
So the Marshall was a metal panel Super Lead 100.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was either 71 or 72 Marshall.
Yeah, so those are metal. They're metal panels. They're not Plexi panels. So they're not. They are, for all intents and purposes, Plexis, but they're not, because it's not a plexiglass panel. It's
exactly
metal, and they're just called Super Lead 100s at that point.
Yeah, and I tried. Oh, I tried. Tried the Bassman. The Bassman agreed with me.
The chat is here. Chad,
What's up,
how's your new
Chad?
Frankenstein? How is your new Frankenstein, buddy?
Thank you, Terry. Yeah, the Vaporizer came out 2014. That's when that Pawn Shop series was. 2014.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, by the time it trickled around, and that thing, like when I got it, it's mint. I still have like the little piece of cardboard in the corner of the cab there. You can see. I still have the hang tag on the amp head. I had no desire to have it, but I just made a trade, and I forget what I traded for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I traded my Marshall head. I traded for that and an orange Mini Terror as well for a MOSFET 100.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Bo Zeke, how are you?
Or MOSFET, whatever it is. MOSFET.
Yeah. Chad, would you like to come on with us for a couple minutes and show off that guitar? You can stay if you want, but if you don't want to stay very long, you can pop in for a minute, show that guitar, and
NGC, new guitar, Chad.
yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, I've seen it. I got to see it before he did, but my God, you got to see this guitar. It's gorgeous.
Hey,
And
Boozy.
then maybe I'll show what I have here.
Works. That works.
Ah, yes, Bozique. For the record, the JCM 800 is his favorite amp ever.
I really agree with that, sir.
He does love the DSL. Listen, because I don't like something doesn't mean it's bad. It just I don't like it. That's all.
Exactly. That's what it's so important with the hands. Like there's a lot of Marshalls. I look for anything but a Marshall to plug into in a music store just because I have a hard time dialing a lot of, like say the DSLs and stuff. I don't know for whatever reason. Although the Tone King taught me start everything at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Turn everything to the number 7 as a starting spot. And I went, as soon as I started doing that, I went, oh, okay. And then dial the taste from there.
T. Ricky says he put an amp order in last week. Living where I do, I don't have much of a choice. What amp did you put an order in for?
Mm-hmm. What you getting?
Yeah. Unless you told us earlier and I just read over it.
Randy Crooks does not care for unique shaped guitars. All right, Randy. I love you, brother. I don't care for unique shaped guitars.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we'll get you on another time, Chad. Definitely get you. Anyway, thanks for coming to watch for a little while.
Ooh, an Imperial Tone King Mark II. Nice.
Yes. Tone King. What an amazing sounding amplifier that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
The first Friedman guitar I ever played through was through a Tone King amp because of it was in the boutique amp distribution booth up at Cosmo Music in Toronto at an event. I was like, wow, a Friedman guitar. Wow, a Tone King amp. Plug.
I played through one. I don't know what model it was when I used to frequent the Music Zoo. Because they had a bunch of Tone King stuff and they sounded incredible. One second.
Bozique's asking if checked out the new EVH guitar colors. Not a lot of new gear this year from EVH, but some nice finishes.
Yes, there is a couple nice finishes. Boy, there's a new quilt top. It looks like a honeyburst, I guess in the special, the EVH, the Wolfgang special, which looks really nice. It almost looks like an American guitar. Looks like a real high-end guitar, which I thought just looked beautiful. But before we get off the subject of amplifiers, on behalf of Benjamin and myself, we want to say a prayer for Alexander Dumble, for who just passed away.
Yes.
Dumble amplifiers, I don't know anyone that can afford one, but the man just passed away, and there will not be any more Dumble amplifiers.
Nope. Nope. I've seen
Um,
them in the wild. Never got a chance to play through one.
I played one. I may have told this story in the past. Uh, I can't remember what year it was. I believe it was 2011 or 2012. Me and a couple of buddies of mine went down to Nashville, and we were the house band at the Gibson Summer Jam. Part of the house band, anyway. There was several players there, and I was the guitar player. Me and actually, my one of my buddies was the bass player, and me and my other buddy were two of the house guitar players. Now, that being said, there was a bunch of house guitar players, so we just happened to be two of them. And one of the guys who lives in Nashville, I can't remember his name right now. On the stage, on the main stage, was his Dumble Overdrive Special, head and cabinet. And he wouldn't let anyone plug into it, and I don't blame him. But he let me plug my Les Paul into it. I sat in a chair. He's like, listen, play it. Do not touch any of the buttons. Do not touch any of the knobs. Just play it as is so you can get a feel of what this is supposed to be. And I, strummed a few chords. So I guess that counts as playing through a Dumble. But I didn't put it through its paces. But it sounded unbelievable. And not only did it sound unbelievable, but the way it felt under your fingers, the sound coming out of the guitar under your fingers through that amplifier sounds like nothing else. It's incredible. You don't realize it until you're playing through one and you can feel it under your fingers. And it's not something that I can convey by orally. I can't tell you how it is. You got to just feel it, and then you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not
Speaking unbelievable. Hey, buddy.
Uneffing believable. How are you? Jeff K, how you doing?
Billy Baloney's here. Gear Junkie 35 as well.
Bozique had said something else that I wanted to read here. The chat's going pretty fast.
Yeah, there was one or two Dumbles in at Carter's when I stopped in there, and I asked if I could play through it, and the guy laughed, and I laughed. And I went, no, really. And then he laughed even more. He said, no. But I think they were out on the floor, but they were pretty much spoken for because maybe Joe B. I can't remember if he had just passed on them or was coming by because he was in town.
It could be. I mean, Fender, Gibson.
It could have been anybody. It was during Summer NAMM, so it could have been anybody,
Right. Oh, yeah, here it is. He says, I mentioned I saw John Mayer play one that cost $200,000, and it broke down on him on stage live. Well, I understand. No one wants to. I gotta. Hey, excuse me.
Bless you, Dave.
Oh God, I don't know what it is. Here's the thing with any tube amplifier, anyone. I don't care if you paid $200 for it. I don't care if you paid $200,000 for it. The minute you turn that switch on and the tubes start to glow, it is dying. Tube amps are dying from the second you turn them on. And there's no telling when they're going to die. You can have a brand new set of tubes in there that you just put in an hour ago. And you could turn that switch on, and within a blinking of an eye, that amp could die. It just is what it is. That is the downfall to having a tube amp. But the pros are there are so much more pros than cons that, just the sound in general. That's pro enough for me. Thank you, Bozique. Appreciate it. And even if you didn't spell it correctly,
It's the thought.
I can spell. I can read phonetically, and whatever goes in tight comes out loose. So whatever.
I had a Blues Junior last 3 songs for me.
John Harden says he had a Blues Junior that blew up in 3 days.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. So we were playing this festival, and Backline provided Dave, and I specifically asked for 2 half stacks, for one for myself, one for the other guitar player. I showed up. One was a Blues Deluxe, the other amp was a Blues Junior, and I got stuck with the Blues Junior, to which I'm playing very heavy music, very loud through it. And I forgot to turn down the gain on it to start with. So when I hit it with an MXR full bore metal, loud, it was dancing to the point where it rattled itself apart by the end of the 3rd song. And they tried sending me a bill, and I told them, I told you to get me a 412 for that exact reason.
Yeah. Randy Crooks, have I seen the Fender Terry Kath model yet? Telecaster. I have only seen the YouTube videos from Fender. I'm excited about that guitar. It's one of the coolest Telecasters ever. But I have not seen one out in the wild yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there'll be any out soon.
Yeah, I have a feeling they may be already sold.
We won't see them until at least summertime.
Mm-hmm. That too.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to seeing one because, man, I love that guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Baloney says he was offered a Dumble that was previously owned by Christopher Cross back in the 80s for $1,500.
I hear you.
Isn't that the one that Robin Ford owns? Doesn't Robin Ford own Christopher Cross's amp?
Maybe.
No, I'm sorry. It's Bonamassa, and it's the Dumble 112 cabinet that was Christopher Cross's. So that's cool. Yeah. Bonamassa owns a Dumble 112 cab that was owned by Christopher Cross.
Gotcha.
So very cool.
Laughing at Quentin James' comment. What's up, Pops?
Says he had a tube amp that started switching channels by itself live. That was fun. Yeah, I can understand that. Nobody wants that.
No, not a bit.
Yeah, Dwight Bailey says always get them repaired. Well, of course. And the cool thing about at least with me, is I've got one of my great buddies that lives less than a half hour away that is the best tube amp repair guy in New York as far as I'm concerned. He's quick turnaround. He's fairly easy on the pocketbook, and he is ridiculously he is.
What's up, Cameron?
Amazing. He's amazing.
What's up, Brian?
Hey, Cameron, how are you? Cameron, I need you to give me a call because I don't have international calling on my phone anymore. Give me a call and we'll set up a date for you to come on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Bozic says, what doesn't Bonamassa own? He doesn't own this.
I wonder if he owns one of those high-end Frankie replicas.
I know at one point he owned a black and yellow 81 Charvel striped guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But I subsequently found out that he gave it to his guitar tech, Mike Hickey, as a gift.
Oh, nice.
But I don't think he's got a Frankie replica. I don't really think he cares about those types of guitars.
Cameron says call over Facebook. That's an option.
Okay, I could do that.
House of Twang's looking for experienced amp tech. I just need the budget to find an experienced amp tech because I got a lot of stuff that needs servicing. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I would imagine it's not easy up in Canada. There's not, you know what, there's...
Well, like, it's just because, like anything else, you figure 1/10 the population. So instead of 10 guys vying for the business, it's one, for any given area type thing. And like half an hour west of me, there's Trinity Amps, which is a very boutique amp company. And I'm sure they could service them, but what are they going to charge me? Like, they're busy hand building amps for Billy Gibbons and stuff prior to his Magnatone endorsement.
Mm-hmm. Your mom says, what's his name, Dave? Are you talking about my amp guy? His name is Jack Kivalowitz, and the company name is Rock and Roll Amps. And it's KIVOLOWITZ.
Yeah. There's apparently some guy over in the county. The county, which is the next county over, they call themselves the county. He's always advertising like in the local Craigslist that he does amp tech work. I've never reached out to him. I don't know what his reputation is. I got a buddy from high school too. He asked me that randomly. He's an auto mechanic by trade, but we were always into electronics in high school together. And he's like, I took a year and a half of radio repair. Do you think I should get into servicing old tube amplifiers?
Uh-huh.
Yes, you should.
Absolutely.
Because I just want to do it as a hobby. I'm like, yes, you should. Like, I will start you with an inventory to service. Of course, that's with friends and family discount for inspiring you to start your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hello, House of Twang. So, and I lost my train of thought. So yeah, amplifiers.
They don't last forever, but they're worth it.
No, I was at my buddy Dennis's house today. He did this. He got a new guitar, and subsequently, so did I. But went to his house, and he plugged into a bunch of his amps that I haven't heard in a long time, and then he has what's called, and it's and his our amps, both mine and his, are made by my friend Jack Kivalowitz at Rock and Roll Amps, and he has this one 100-watt, or maybe it's a 50-watt 212 model called the Quad 6, and it's like a British style, like a plexi, but in a 212 combo. But then he plugged that 212 combo into another 212 cabinet, a Dumble style oversized cabinet with two Celestion G1265s in them, British speakers, and then turned it up to about 5 or 6. And it was right behind my ears. And I can't tell you how good that sounded. Dennis lives in a cottage about 100 yards off the main road and off of where the main house is, where he's renting from an elderly couple. So he gets to play his amplifiers 24/7 if he wants, in the middle of the night, at whatever volume he wants, and nobody hears him. He is one of the luckiest cats that I know, musicians that get to do what he does and is not bothered by anybody. He doesn't bother anyone. No one complains. It's ridiculous. It's so cool. So he plugs this amplifier in and starts playing, and oh my God, what a sound. What a sound. It was amazing. Yeah. And then, he has a setup very similar to mine right here, a stereo, two 112 stereos, and a pedal board and sound. And that sounds crazy, but I know what that sounds like because I have it here. And we're just going through all his guitars, and it was a fun day not to be in this house, someplace else, just listening and playing guitar. It was so cool. It was really a relaxing day. And
Nice.
a lot of people think listening to loud guitar all day is not very relaxing, but when you don't have to do it in your own house and not be bothered, and there's no animals saying, "I gotta go out, I'm hungry," blah blah blah, play with me. It's just what a great day it was.
I get it. Sometimes you gotta just crank it up and play at some pants-shaking volume and enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything new on the horizon for you, Ben?
On the horizon, trying to think. Still looking to build my new pedal board. That's, maybe next week. I keep saying that. Other than that, I'm trying to think. There is something that no, it's gone. Nope.
Okay. Bill
Maybe.
Maloney says those celestial speakers.
Heavenly tone. I agree.
Well, those extra celestials from outer space.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great.
That's for the real big tone.
You guys got to forgive me. I sometimes have trouble enunciating.
It's okay.
Yeah, I start talking fast.
You didn't even think about, speaking improperly when hosting a podcast or anything, Dave. That's why we're not paid by the networks and we're doing it ourselves here.
Quite frankly, I just really don't give a shit.
That too.
But it's fun. It's all good. Yeah. It's, good stuff, those celestials.
Mm-hmm. I revamped the studio this week. That's what I did this week. See, the guitars are all behind me now.
It looks different.
Yeah. And pedal board's right down here in front.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Which is quite handy. And the amp I've been playing through mostly lately is the B52, which is now easily accessible right there.
Uh-huh. Now, what model is that?
The AT112. Which is, let me think. I did the research on it. It's modeled after, it's similar to the PV-XXX. That was
okay.
Yeah. I like it because it's got a resonance knob, and I don't own any other amps with a resonance knob. And I came to the conclusion every amp should have a resonance knob because that's just the good heaviness. It just makes everything heavier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that resonance knob really does a lot. It's cool. Charles 75N, thank you. Even if you're not serious, thank you very much for the compliment. I don't really take myself very serious. Most of what I say is
nobody
whatever.
Should.
Yeah. But thank you.
That's the way I see it. I am who I am. We're all human.
Keith Campbell says that he's more of a DC guy himself. I don't really know what that means.
We got a DC Marvel Comics thing going on in the chat.
Oh, okay. All right.
I like it. Keith Campbell says resonance knob should be the tone knob of the amps. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I like it too because it sounds nothing like my Fender, even on the clean channel. So it's just, for doing stereo, it's just very crazy. Hey, JW Parsons 1. I knew an amp repair guy who swore by the PV-XXX.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a place for it. It's a great amp. There's definitely a place for it. If I had to plug into it, I would. I mean, I've plugged into a EVH 5150 for quite a while and used it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm not afraid to use that amp.
Yeah, I traded a modern player Stratocaster for it, which I think I had $300 into that guitar at the time. So It's just, the guy's like, "Hey, you like that amp?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You want to trade?" And I was like, "Sure." Hey, Bozique, thanks.
Bozique gives us a super sticker of $10,000. $10.
That'd be a super duper sticker.
That would be. I just call it quits right now.
Yeah, thanks, folks.
Yeah, see you in a month.
No, we still got to do another 45 minutes. We promised.
That's okay. Not that bad.
And then they wouldn't see us for a month.
Thank you, Bozique.
It'll be new Guitar Us.
Um, yeah. Well, speaking of Bozique and the kindness of him taking money out of his wallet, I will say this, and I always say it. It's not mandatory to give us money. It's not. I don't ask for money, but if you like what you see and you like hanging out with us and you want us to keep continuing to do this, which we will anyway, but it makes it easier if you guys uh, help us out any way you possibly can with the super chats and the super stickers and everything. It keeps the channel going. uh, I don't pocket the money. Ben doesn't get paid either. We, whatever money we make on this, it goes right back into the media. It goes back into StreamYard.
I'm
It,
just here to give
it
Dave
goes,
and random guests hard times.
yeah,
Honestly,
well, yeah, and
that's it.
you do a good job, but
Yeah,
it's really, it makes it easy for us to keep doing this
yeah,
because
it does.
man, not having a job, and I'm, and believe me, I'm not crying hardship because I'm not, but
No.
uh, I'm disabled, so I don't work, I don't make a paycheck, so it helps when you have people, nice people that give back like this to help us keep this going, and I
Sure.
appreciate it. Dino Smith, he says, I have 4 guitars in for repair with a master luthier who has an okay reputation online for returning work. How long should I wait before I start texting on updates or picking up? Uh, I would say a month.
Like a month past the due
Looking
date.
at, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Thomas
Thanks,
Santiago
Thomas.
says, hi, Dave and Ben. Thank you so much, Thomas. Uh, yes, if it's a month past the due date, unless you're great friends with the person where you can give that person leeway, uh, I would say a month after the due date, I would start making phone calls once every couple weeks. If you have to call, twice in a month, then I would call once a week. I would ask questions like, "Did something happen to my guitar?" And you're waiting to get parts to repair something that broke that I didn't bring it to. There could be mitigating circumstances. Um, there could be a lot of things. Maybe your luthier is that busy that he just couldn't get to it yet.
Hmm.
But tell them, say, listen, I don't ask for favors when it comes time to get paid. I need my instrument. I'm paying full price. That's if you are paying full price. I have no problem paying what you ask me to pay you. I would really like you to finish my guitar.
Hmm.
It's just quite that easy, you know.
And if that's absolute mayhem under an alternate account, I know that guitar you dropped off for a relic job last summer is still here. I'll get to it.
Well, I understand what Dino Smith is going through because I have a guitar that I've been waiting for work to be done since September, and it's not
Hmm.
done yet. But uh, um, in his defense, he is probably the busiest guitar repair guy on Long Island. He is probably the best repair guy on Long Island. Now, I know you guys are thinking, well, Dave, don't you do repairs? I do. But when a doctor gets sick, a doctor has to go to the doctor, right? You don't self prescribe. When it's something I don't know how to do, I take it to him. And it's a pretty big job, but I mean, 4 months now. Come on. I get that you're busy. Get to my guitar.
Hmm.
And I'm not, and I am paying full price. That being said, like I said, he's a very close friend of mine. He I give him every benefit of the doubt, and I've got a shitload of guitars here to play. So it's not like, oh my god, I don't have a guitar. And when I get this guitar back, I guarantee I won't remember how long he's had it. It'll be the greatest thing ever. It'll be back home and it'll be perfect. So Is it a little annoying? Of course it is. You want your guitar back, or guitars in your case. But as long as you have some guitars to play at home, or at least a guitar, be patient. I would, though, have a talk with them if it persists like this, and say, hey, just like I said, hey, when you want to get paid, I don't make you wait 3 4 months. I pay you right away, and I pay you for the work that you do, and I don't complain about the money. So, just be nice. Don't go there with your hair on your back all up and in bunches. Go there and have a nice discussion. Stay calm, be friendly, kill them with kindness. Maybe you'll get some answers.
And yeah, I like Charles. Charles, you got to do like customer service for my repair work. I like that. Yeah, I'm just doing a natural aging process on the guitar for Absolute Mayhem. He wants a relic job. He didn't give me an
Mhm.
exact time frame. He said, "Get to it when you get to it."
Yeah,
Get to it.
Chad says, but it does suck when one guitar is missing from your collection. Trust me, I know. Listen, I know you want all your children home,
Mm-hmm.
but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And when it comes back home, it'll be better than it was when it left. So it's all good. Chad and I are very, very close, good friends. So I don't think he'll be mad when I say, Chad, I know you're Mr. I gotta have it now kind of guy, because I'm the same way. But it's okay to wait a little bit. It's okay. Puts hair on your chest.
Thanks, T. Ricky. Appreciate it.
Ozik says, send Joe Pesci with a baseball bat there to collect. It's very funny. T. Ricky, really enjoy the show. Thank you so much, T. Ricky. Appreciate it.
Excuse me.
Uh, and Chad, you know what? You're allowed not to have patience. I'm just saying you will probably live a lot longer if you had this much more patience.
Mm-hmm.
You'll grow more hair on your head. I don't know what mine
Man, I
is.
must be patient.
You got a lot of hair. So, what do you say we show some stuff here?
Yeah, yeah. I like that idea. We're 53 minutes in here. 48
46.
watching, apparently
40.
27 thumbs ups, which please, yes, give us a thumbs up if you don't mind. And of course, if you're new, please subscribe.
So today I got a little jewelry box, and inside the box is a truss rod cover for a vintage Les Paul. Now, the cool thing about these things are, if you can see, I don't know if I can get this in the light at all. All right, see the ridges in the black. Can you see that at all?
It's ridged for your pleasure.
It's very funny. Well, in the 50s, when they had this plastic, it was rolled up. It would be rolled up like if a carpet was rolled up, and they would unroll it, flatten it out, and make whatever plastic they wanted to make. So to straighten it, plastic when it's rolled up always wants to roll back up, or anything. Anything that's rolled up wants to stay rolled up. I just got a new carpet here, and the ends still want to stay rolled up. They flatten eventually, but when it's rolled up, and this is plastic. So this is how you know when it's vintage, and against one that's not is going to be a straight piece of plastic. It's going to look brand new, and you can see that this is kind of beveled. It's the whole thing is beveled. It's not a straight piece of plastic. So uh, I wanted another vintage truss rod cover for my 335, and here it is. So this came in. I ordered this, not ordered it. I asked for my guy to find one 6 months ago, and it finally got sent to me. So that's that.
Very cool. Very cool.
And the other thing is this. Now this I'll have to
Yeah. You got to
go
show that off. Look
go
at this.
large.
La la la. Look at that. Just look at it. Look at those flames moving around.
Oh yeah, this
They're just
is
dancing.
this is a historic collection, 60th anniversary, 1960 Les Paul, in what's called orange lemon burst. The guitar weighs 7.13 pounds, and it is not chambered. It's got that 60s slim taper neck, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
It's got these custom buckers in it, which are very low output.
Nice.
The guitar is a gem. It really is a beautiful Les Paul. Sounds crazy good. The strings I have on this guitar are 11 through 52, and I know that sounds a bit heavy, but the strings on this are 11, 15, 20, 32, 42, 52. And it is the most balanced set of heavy gauge strings I've ever played. And it's really slinky for a heavier gauge. It really feels great. The guitar sounds incredible. And my God, that flame top, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is hang on. How do I compare this neck shape to the guitar I have, or no? What do you wait? How do I compare this one to that guitar up there? That guitar is more of a rounded neck from front to back, where this is more Ibanez-like. This guitar is flat.
Yeah, it's got a flat section right in the middle.
This kind of guitar, Chad, I know you don't like classic style guitars. I'm sure you're not really a Les Paul guy at all. But if you play this guitar, how does it feel? It's very similar to Ibanez. It's very thin.
Yeah.
Very thin. It's 1 11/16 at the nut. So it's going to be smaller than your Charvels and wider than your Ibanez's, because your Ibanez's are 1 5/8. So, but the feel front to back is very Ibanez-like. Maybe a little bit thicker, tiniest bit, but it's very thin. You would probably love this guitar, even though you don't like Les Pauls.
I know that you described the perfect Les Paul for me.
Yeah. Hey Wayne, how are you?
I'd leave the pickguard on Bozique. Spite.
Bozique says that's an effing gorgeous reissue, David NESDALL. Those things are nice flame tops, of course. If it were mine, pickguard's got to go, and I'm filling in the screw hole with matched color crayon shavings. I'm a pickguard guy. I love pickguards on Les Pauls. So, but I understand.
Yeah, to each their own.
I'm the same way, Cameron. Pickguard on, not off. Jimmy Page, Gary Richrath, Billy Squire, early days. It's all these are the guys that I grew up on with Les Pauls that look like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, the pickguard's got to stay on. It's just part of the guitar. It looks right to me.
Yep.
But then again, if you're Dickie Betts guy, pickguard goes off.
Right.
Gold top, pickguard off.
I still like it on a gold top too. Just
Yeah, I love
I'm not a
pickguards
gold
on.
top fan myself, so less gold, maybe. I don't know. Breaks it up a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like a
Yeah,
black Les Paul without a pickguard. It looks very bare.
right. And I love black Les Paul standards with the cream appointments. You know, cream pickup
Mm-hmm.
cover, cream guard. You
Yep.
know, the gold top hat knobs. Man, that's the jam. That's a
Mm-hmm.
great guitar. Octopus here says he's a Strat guy, 100%. I got those too. I understand. They're great guitars. And for most of my life, I was a Strat guy. And then, things changed for me. Kind of
It
flip
happens.
flop. Now I'm a Telly Les Paul guy, but I do have Strats. And I
Yep.
love them. Keith Campbell says Ace and Jimmy were his Les Paul guys.
Same.
I get it.
Yep. Definitely same.
Yeah.
Billy Gibbons.
Oh, yeah. Forget it. But yeah, I am really digging this, even though it's not mine for good, at least not yet. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I get his modus operandi. Let's just place this at a guitar-centric friend of mine's place and see how long before he's like, yeah, you can just leave it here. Where do you want me to send the check?
Well, I gotta have money first before I could think about buying anything. But it's really cool to have it here. Nice of
I
him
bet.
to say, "Hey, why don't you play
Mhm.
that for a while? Hold on to that while I really dig my new one. Why don't you hold on to that for a while?" So, and his is beautiful too. This is a version 2, 1960. His is a version 1,
Mhm.
which is all 59 appointments, bigger neck, top hat knobs. It's called what's the color called? His is a darker color, slightly darker. I think it's called. Boy, now I can't remember. Can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's like a burnt orange, where this is bright orange. His is like a burnt orange. It's not. It's not tea burst. It's not. It's not. Uh, Bourbon burst. It's something different. I can't remember what it's called, but it's beautiful. And the flame top on that guitar is ridiculous as this is.
Hmm.
This is really kind of tomato soup like, Bill. But yeah, his is called something else, and I can't remember what it's called.
You'll learn eventually, Bozique. John Harden says, for some reason, as people get older, they fall in love with tellies, even if they never liked them when they were young. And then Bozique replies, I'll be 50 in 3 years, and I still hate tellies.
Halface is not. It's not called Faded Burst. It's called. You know what? I actually have it in my phone. Give me 1 second. I'll tell you what it's called, and I'll show you the guitar. I have it here. So give me 1 second. Don't know why I didn't think of this to begin with. It is called Antiquity Burst. Antiquity Burst is the guitar that Dennis has. And here is a picture of it right here. And my God.
Antiquity Burst just sounds faded to me.
My God, is that beautiful?
Nice. Oh, that's nice. Oh, man. Oh.
So that's Dennis's new guitar. And if you want to see the difference between that guitar in color and this one, I have that photo as well.
Nice.
Here's the difference in the two guitars.
So the newer one has the burst more all the way around.
Yeah. And it's darker. It's definitely like a burnt orange, whereas the guitar I'm holding is more like a day glow orange.
Mm-hmm.
Dino Smith has a great question. He says,
Yes.
Do I worry about screws of parts on a vintage guitar being swapped out by repair people? Yes, of course. I have
If they're going to be replaced, you want them all returned, the
right.
old ones.
But before I send a vintage guitar to somebody, if I send one at all,
Hmm.
first of all, if I'm sending a vintage guitar to any repair guy, he's going to fix it while I watch. I'm not leaving a vintage guitar with anybody. It's
Right.
going to get done. I'm going to make an appointment. I'm going to block out a 2 hour time, a 2 hour piece of time, or however long it takes. I'll say, how long do you need to do this job? Block that many hours out on this day. I'll pay you what you want. I'm bringing my guitar, but I'm not leaving it here. That's how you do it with vintage guitars. Reissue guitars, I mean, even if they're aged reissues, if they're relics or ages, they're new guitars. All that is new screws and new parts, just aged, and that's easy to fix. If someone really wants to take an aged screw off of a new guitar, dude, I'll make another one. I don't care. But on a vintage guitar, you don't just drop off a vintage guitar to somebody and say, I'll pick it up when it's done. No. You say, you bring it over, you have him assess what needs to be done. If he needs to order the parts, you take your guitar home. Then you block out the time when he gets the parts and go back with the guitar and say, okay, here's your 3 hours. Fix my guitar while I wait.
Hmm.
That's all. At least that's the way I would do it.
Yeah, I agree. Vintage
Uh,
equal VIP time. Yep.
yeah. He also asked screws or parts being replaced on vintage guitars. Boy, no, I don't want them replaced. Um, if something is broken that can't be fixed, then I go and buy, when I have the dough, I buy the period correct part and put it on my guitar. Um, if it's like, say it's tuning pegs on a vintage guitar, that 59 Les Paul, I take the original mummy toes off, put it in the case, and buy a set of reissue Clouson tuners that work. There's no extra holes being done. The guitar is now usable. It's tunable. You don't have to worry about breaking a $500 tuner, and it's all said and done. And you have the originals. Would I ever put Grovers on that? Absolutely not. Would I put Grovers on a new Les Paul if need be? Sure, why not? But yeah, on a vintage guitar, vintage parts. I don't put new parts. Unless, of course, it's working parts that, you know, like I just said, tuning pegs, just put a new set of Clousons on because you can always take them off. They're not new holes. You're not making any indentations that aren't already there from the old ones.
Hmm.
You ever sell the guitar, you put the old ones back on. Or you can leave the new ones on and say the old ones are in the case.
Exactly. You have a tech question from Papa Blue.
Dave, do you have to ground the bridge? Do you have to ground the bridge? Why or why not? On a Les Paul? No, everything should be grounded to the pots. You don't have to ground the bridge.
Is there not a ground wire under some of those post holes?
No.
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 I thought some did, some don't.
Maybe early days.
Yeah.
But there isn't any on that. There certainly isn't any on this. Hello, Six String Brian.
Brian.
I can't seem to bond with a telly, Tim Thomas says. I had 5. I don't know. I just always let them go. Well, it's an acquired taste. Telecasters are not for everyone. They're not easy to play, especially if you're a Strat guy. They're more like bucking Broncos, really. You know, they're not easy under your fingers. They're not easy to get great sound out of unless you know how to tame one. Uh, to most people, the bridge pickup on a telly is shrill, unless you know how to use it. I don't know. It's an acquired taste, I think. What do you think, Ben?
Learn to love them. Everyone should have one. No,
Me?
no. I get it. Yeah, like they can be a little cumbersome at start, but I find mess around with different ones because there's different necks on tellies, like Les Pauls. There's so many different necks from different time frames and stuff, and reissues and that. That could be something to do with it. Could be the tone. I say try the middle position on a Telecaster. That's often overlooked, and it's a beautiful sound. And Brian apparently just sold his 51 custom shop telly last week.
Well, I can understand. Although that's an amazing guitar, it's very expensive. The neck. All right, I'm going to say this once again. In general, I would imagine that most guys here have not played an original Blackguard telly, probably have not played an original late 50s Les Paul standard, probably have not played vintage Strats, or if they have, maybe not many. I happen to be very lucky. I have a very, very close friend that has a vintage guitar store 30 minutes down the road. I get to play whatever I want. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I've just played a lot of these guitars. Now, custom shop guitars are easier to come by. More stores have those than vintage guitars. But one thing I will say about the custom shop guitars in general, the necks are all way too big. If you were to play a 1953 Telecaster, a 1951 Telecaster, 52, 54, a real one, and then you had a 51 Nocaster custom shop in one hand and that in the other. The vintage guitar is going to have a very much smaller neck from front to back. And what I mean is this way, from front to back, this way. Not this way, but this way. They're smaller. 50s Les Pauls. If you were to play a custom shop 59 Les Paul, those necks are huge. They're huge. They were never that big in 58, 59, and 60. Never. At least half the size of whatever a custom shop guitar is. Figure a real vintage one is half the size. So I can understand you getting rid of your 51 Nocaster because probably the neck is too big. It was uncomfortable to play. I've got fairly small hands. So I don't care for custom shop 50s Blackguard Telecasters. They sound amazing. They're built amazing. The neck is way too big for me, and they're too big considering what a real one, what an old one feels like.
You and your cameras, Brian. That's why. Yeah. Well, you're making money with the cameras, so I get it, buddy. He's an amazing photographer as well as a pretty darn good guitar player. And I didn't realize you're up to 3 custom shop Les Pauls now. Jesus.
Oh, that's cool.
What's up, Jay?
Hey, Jay. How are you?
Oh, representing.
He says, hey, now.
What did I see? House of Twang mentioned there was a ground wire on the bridge post of his 2017 Les Paul Standard.
That's really weird. Now, I can't really talk for Gibson USA because I don't own any Gibson USA guitars. I have custom shop stuff and I have the real stuff. So, and on the guitars that I have, I don't see a ground wire anywhere other than in the electronics cavity.
Yeah, I I remember, I can't see that thing. I can't remember. It might be one of my guitars. I remember I had to replace some posts for whatever reason. Oh, it might have been actually my Epiphone when I was did the refinish, because I just taped over the actual inserts, because I'm not going to pull those out of a body. And I looked down and something you can see just it looked like a high E string just poking out in the bottom there, just to make contact with the bottom, I guess.
Now, that being said, with the Gibsons with no ground wire, there is a ground wire sticking out under the bridge of all my Telecasters.
Right.
And that's the way
you cannot have enough ground wires in a Fender product, in my opinion. You cannot ground them enough.
I'm sorry, Wayne. He says, guys, do you think guys like Page, etc., took the pickguard off for style of playing or feel of the guitar? Well, Page never took the pickguards off of his Les Pauls. They stayed on.
Yep.
I think that it's a toss-up. Guys that take pickguards off either like the way they look off, or pickguards hinder them. Sometimes guys are heavy pickers and they don't like the sound of their pick clanking on the pickguard.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if your pickups are not potted and they're microphonic, you hear that clank if you're not technical. If your picking isn't perfect and you're slapping a pick on that pickguard, you're hearing this through your pickups. And some people take that guard off just for that reason.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Nice.
Bozique says LPs look sleeker and sexier without the pick guard. I find the cream ones to be ugly. Black ones are barely tolerable. Okay. Hey, Vince, how are you?
What's up, Vince?
Vince Janella. I've said it before. He's got a show on YouTube on Monday nights. Is it 9 o'clock, Vince, or is it 8 o'clock? Where he plays his music, and he's a great player. You got to check him out.
Very
great
cool.
Player.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Check him out on
Well,
Monday.
if I ever get off my show at a reasonable time, I'll definitely check you out live. If not, I'll check it out on the replay.
Yes.
In theory, I'm from 8 until 9 on Mondays. Sometimes it ends up 9:30. So.
Yeah, and we'll get Vince on here at some point. Vince gives guitar lessons on Thursday nights, and that's the way he makes his living. So it's very hard to get up here. Jerry Leica is here. Jerry Leica is the reason why most of us build Frankenstein Eddie Van Halen replicas.
Nice.
He's the OG. Him and Scott Smith are the OGs of Frankenstein Van Halen replica building. In fact, he still builds them, and his replicas still blow me away.
Well, I don't know, Vince. I don't know if I can watch you now that I know you take all your pick guards off your Les Paul. So I don't know.
Jerry, very nice of you to show up. I really appreciate it, buddy.
And hello to Timothy Lee.
Hey, Timothy.
Very cool.
It's nice to have some people on here that don't normally come on here. Very cool.
Yeah. It's an eclectic group that come in. Hey, Fake 59. The bridge has to be grounded on a Les Paul's, even Fake 59s.
Yeah, that's right, Caleb.
I don't know. I should check my fake one. See if it's got a ground wire or not. I can't remember. Vince says he'll put one on just for me. Oh. You see, now I know he's a sweetheart. Actually, I got to double check to make sure I'm subscribed to Vince. Let the chat catch up.
Great. So,
let's hope Vince doesn't have a channel trailer on his channel. Otherwise, we're about. Oh, come on, subscribe. There we go. And close. Done and done.
Unbelievable.
I'm multitasking.
Uneffing Believable says, what were strats called that didn't have pit guards?
Ugly.
I don't know.
I don't know, but Telecasters look weird without pick guards. Just looks weird.
Vince, we have to have you on here as soon as you can.
Mm-hmm. The back-roaded strat.
Take care, Wayne.
See you, Wayne. Have a good one, my friend. Struts.
Very funny. So that's about it for me here today. What else you got?
I don't have much, and I have less than usual, but they were back-roaded, yes. Coming up next week, we have the one and only Larry Mitchell joining us, hopefully. Larry's always traveling, so in theory, we're having Larry next week. That should be fun.
Yeah,
we haven't had Larry on since Jay was showing off Larry's old guitar, I think. I think that's the last time Larry was on.
Oh, very cool. When
I posed the question, what's the plural of Ibanez? Ibanez? Ibanez this is? Because everyone goes, I have 2 Ibanez guitars. Everyone else says, or I have 2 Fenders, but no one says I have 2 Ibanez's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Papa Blue has a great question. He says, Dave, could it be that a Telecaster is grounded because of the plate on the pickup? You know what? I don't know the answer to that. I just think that they're very bright to begin with. Those old Telecasters weren't potted. Pickups weren't potted, and they grounded them. They just, Yeah,
we'll find out those answers and more next week. No.
You gotta love the trolling by Caleb Rappaport in this chat here. Anyway,
I don't know. Ibanez. I like Ibanez.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's like fish. It's just 1 Ibanez, 2 Ibanez. I don't know. Who from Ibanez could we get on to find out these probing questions? They're not going to want to come on after seeing this.
But anyway, Larry will be here next week. And yes. I believe he's going to show off some of his non-Ibanez and non-Nags guitars that he uses in the studio.
Cool. Last time he showed off his double neck. That's what it was like. That thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was all kinds of awesome.
He showed off his double neck, and I showed off my double chin.
Hey, Laz. I didn't say hi to Half Ace either. Or Half Ace. Half Ace. I've been saying Half Ace for 4 years. Sorry, Half Ace. It's going with Half Ace.
Yeah, let's go with that. Anyway.
Music therapy, Laz, I can say. Yeah, I'm just trying to drag it out for another 5 minutes and 40 seconds for us, Dave, because we promised 90 minutes.
Because I said we'd be on for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to be on at least 90 minutes tonight, folks. Sorry for the short show last week. All right, Bozeek's headed out. See, we can do reverse roll call. And I want to say see ya to Charles 75N and Music Therapy Labs. And of course, if you're a regular in the chat and you want to appear on the Guitar Town Hall featuring David NESDALL and myself, reach out to either one of us. We can set it up. I'm going to say, like, Charles, he has my number, so he'd be like, yeah, I want to come on. It's just, he can text me.
Well, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you like what you see, definitely click that bell so you can get notifications and we'll let you know what's going on.
Yep.
And, it's great to see everybody. Great that everyone comes back on every week.
Mm-hmm.
And nice to see some new faces.
And if you're watching on replay, comment down below. Say hello.
Yes, it helps the channel. Thumbs up help. Mm-hmm. Comments help. It makes it easier for you to be able to find everything later on down the road.
And if you're watching live and you like to lurk, that's fine. But if you say hello, it helps too, because each chat comment is the same as a comment on a video. It's an interaction. So when the chat's really flying, YouTube's like, whoa, look at these two fellas. They've got something going on. Let's promote them. And then we get more friends showing up every week.
Yes, absolutely.
Fabric shopping this weekend, Charles says. Okay, I'll be around. We're doing a fabric top creamer. And unbelievable. I'm going to message you after the show because I realized that the scheduled time of that delivery, I won't be home for part of that. The first hour anyways. Thanks. Unbelievable.
Man, 708 says he just finished a 10-pound bag of chocolate cashews.
Oh, wow. In one sitting?
Keith, thank you very much.
Some competitive eating. You're going to show up at Nathan's on July 4th? Like, just saying. You eat a 10-pound bag of something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Laz says, lurkers are welcome. I should know. That's right, Laz, because you're lurking, Laz. Okay, not one sitting. Two sitting.
You've been sitting upstairs in front of your computer going like this, like little popcorn pieces.
Oh, man. just imagine. Just want to make sure we didn't.
Laz says he missed something. What happened? I don't understand.
Grounded bridges keep you safe from electrical shock, John Harden says. Yep. I got to run a new ground from the bridge of my 71 telly because I noticed when I palm mute, it's a lot less buzzing. Or when I touch the controls, there's a lot less buzzing. I forget what, but I realize, I'm like, when I get those two touching each other better. Now, I could be lazy, Dave, and just wedge a guitar string under the bridge on one end and then just put it under the control cover and have a little racing stripe, but that would look terrible.
What? Does that even work? I don't even know. Would that work?
Yeah, because when you touch the strings on a 60 cycle hum, the hum goes away. So, and I may have touched an electrical circuit while holding a guitar at one time and got a shock through my fingers. I remember that. That was not fun. That was high school. Explains a lot. Are mini amps, diesel, Friedman, etc., any good? Yes. The higher end mini heads are quite nice. At least that's been my experience.
I'm interested in playing one of those mini Soldano heads.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 30 watt.
Yeah.
The SLO 30, I think it's called. Yeah, I think that's cool stuff.
Minute and 12 seconds, folks. Get in any last moment comments because by the time we play the outro music, that's upwards of 22 seconds right there, Closing credits, There's no bonus. It's not a Marvel movie where the credits will roll and then all of a sudden we come back with a teaser for next week. Like all of a sudden Larry shows up. That's the trailer for the next movie, right? All of a sudden Larry's like, hey. Well, actually, he does show up in the outro. He's in the video, so technically he does show up.
Oh, Laz said, someone said, sorry for my loss. Laz, my dog died last week. My dog was put to sleep last week. So, it's been weird. It's been weird to say the least.
Jay likes the virtual SLO 100 and the neural DSP. That neural unit I hear is quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that one of the units that Pete Thorne's using on his current tour? He's got some kind of hybrid. He's got pedals and a virtual unit, and he's using an amp on stage.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. PT-15 on stage. That's all he's using. PT-15.
Really?
Yep.
No kidding.
Hey, sure, it's part of the Classic Rock Live show. He's touring it with in England.
Oh, so I didn't even know he was not in the States right now.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I should be wrapping up soon. I think he's been on tour about a month now.
Is he still doing his Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did a couple from the tour bus because he'll go on. He ends up going on right before me on Sunday nights. Hey, check me out. Ben Coombs on YouTube. He's been doing it from the venues quite often. After the show's done, while they're cleaning up the stage and stuff, he'll go live backstage. It's not the same as the 80s, Dave. Backstage is not the same as the 80s. Way calmer. But musicians are still musicians having fun post-gig.
Right.
Those tea mugs don't have tea in it.
Very funny. On that note.
Hey, see? Minute extra even.
Yes.
Bonus content, folks.
Guys and girls got a little more out of us than we expected. But anyway, thanks everyone. We'll see you next week with Larry Mitchell. And
happy tone chasing. And be good to each other and have fun and tone chasing and buy guitars and pedals and amps. Buy some cables too.
Absolutely.
Cable manufacturers need love too.
Sure, why not? With silent ends. This way, when you unplug your guitar, it doesn't go.
Some people told me they wish I had a silent end at times too.
All of us, especially the other end.
Yep. It's not true bypass.
All right, guys and girls. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
See you, folks.